Welcome again. Welcome to Free Coaching Friday. If you are excited, I want you to put some excitement in the chat because it is week 3, aka lesson 3, aka module 3. And I love y'all. Y'all know that. Put it in the chat. I'm trying to make sure everybody who needs to be here is here. If you on Facebook or Instagram, make sure you tag somebody that you feel like today needs to learn how to leverage their social media. Okay, if you know somebody, if it's you, if it's your good girlfriend, go and get them. Go and tag them. I'm tagging some people too. And as you come in, y'all, as you come in, I want you to take a selfie. I want you to take a selfie and tag Charlotte Strategist on your story. I want you to tag on your story, okay? We got a special guest today, y'all. Come on in and tag. Come on in and tag me. I'm going to tag her. Y'all, it's K. Gresham.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Miss K. I wanted to say Miss Carter. I wanted to say, hey, Miss Carter. Y'all know that's the Beyonce on Beyonce's internet. Y'all, I'm so excited. If you've never been here, right? I am Charlotte Strategist. Business development and systems are my thing. I'm always helping people to build their business and take it literally from idea to income. But I'm most passionate about the implementation phase that a lot of people get away with, don't pay attention to, you be surprised. Okay? And then we have Kay here, who is going to introduce herself.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Hope you all can hear me good. My name is Kay Gresham. I am the founder of a creative and administrative firm where I service literally the entire world. Honestly, I've had clients everywhere. When I talk about branding, marketing, strategizing in those spaces, also back into the website design space, but that is on its own separate entity, thank God. But I have been in the industry of branding and marketing for years, almost a decade at this point. And I'm just super, super grateful and excited to be here and excited to just share the stage with the lovely Charmise. And we are going to just have a great time.
Y'all, I'm excited. Jesus. Let me just say, we've been here a long time. It's stuff that we know, y'all, that honestly, I can't say that I see a lot of people talking about right now. Everybody, now it doesn't mean, and we kind of sort of, this will kind of flow into how we gonna talk about social media today. It doesn't mean you don't jump on the hot topics, right? It don't mean that you don't use what's trending, or what everybody's gonna grab to or talk about. But what it does mean is when you find, I'm a person of impact, right? And I like to find out what's gonna actually help somebody implement a thing versus just jump on it because it's the hype. It can be the hype and you never do nothing with it. It can be a trend and trends go down, right? But if I can find the pieces, the missing puzzle pieces of the things that nobody's talking about that's still going to make a difference. And it doesn't mean I'm trying to be, y'all know how some people use like guerrilla marketing, since we talk about marketing, and it's always about, if you know, what's the name, Larry Reed. Hopefully I don't get sued, praise God. But just I'm giving as examples of people who use marketing based on the guerrilla style. They in your face, they talk about rumors, the gossip, the this, the that. It doesn't mean I'm trying to do that, like be that out there. But I am trying to figure out ways to say, hey, okay, I know I dealt with this, and I've met other people who have dealt with this, and nobody's talking about it. Okay. So y'all know, right? So we breaking this down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 categories, y'all. We going from conception to creation to communicating to consistency, which if you in the broadcast group, a lot of you all voted for that. It's showing up consistently, baby. I understand. My God. Showing up consistently or your conversion rate. So going from that content to cash. Okay. So we just gonna get started. Y'all, if you've been here to any of these Free Culture Fridays, you know you need to go ahead and get your notebook out. Okay. Go ahead and get your notebook out because we're not just going to be saying things out of the willy nilly, right? This is literal stuff that you will be able to use. Not even just stuff, baby. Gems. We are dropping gems. We've been here long enough to give you the tea that you need to take it away and do it today. Y'all like my tea? Give you the tea to take away and do it today. Okay. All right, so y'all, let's start with conception. So this is all about leveraging your social media. First of all, let me check who is in the room. If your pain point is having a concept for your content, I want you to put a 1 in the chat in either of the chats that you in. If it's creating the content, I want you to put a 2 in the chat. If it's communicating the right thing to the right people, so your messaging, I want you to put a 3. If it's showing up consistently, baby, put a 4. I know, you in here. Put a 4. And if it's you are showing up, you're creating it, you got the concept, but it's like I'm not getting the cash flow I want. It's not converting. I want you to put a 5. We see some 4s in here. What else, y'all? Y'all know I gotta look back and forth Instagram and everything everywhere else. Want you to put it. So if it's 4, that's consistency. If you showing up, you doing what you gotta do, but it's not converting, I want you to put a 5. If it's your concept, you can't seem to even get to the creation part, put a 1. I see y'all in the chat. Okay. So let's start at the place that honestly. So let me just go ahead and say why I added conception before creation, right? Because before you can sit on Canva, Adobe, there's an app called Mojo, CapCut. Before you can sit down and actually create it to bring it out of your mind, you have to figure out what's in your mind that you're trying to convey first. That's a piece of, listen, y'all, my business mentor, she used to eat me up. She like, why are you using a lot of your time sitting on Canva? Help me understand. And I came to the understanding it was because of the concept. I'm trying to create and conceptualize at the same time. And I'm using more time than I got. It's not working. So you have to start with conception. So before you create, I'm supposed to be tagging. Before you create the content, you have to know these things. Y'all taking notes? You have to know your audience. That's number 1. Before you can create the content, you have to know your audience. You have to know your audience. The second thing you need to know is what you're selling. That is the second thing you need to know, what you are selling. The third thing you need to know is why they need to buy into what you're selling. What problem is it going to solve for these people you're trying to sell to? Okay? Those are the 3 major things you need to know. Your audience, what you're selling, and why they need to buy what you're selling. Because if you don't know why they need to buy, you're not going to be able to tell them why they need to buy. If you don't know how it's going to solve their problem, and we're going to get into that communicating, that messaging, you're not going to know how to tell them how it's going to solve their problem. What you think, Kay? Give me something.
Yes. And one thing that I think that you said that was key that I actually talk about a lot with clients is the entire thing about knowing your audience. It doesn't just mean, oh, I'm servicing 35-year-old women. You need to know who they are. You also need to know who they are not. You need to understand what they like, what they need, what they desire, and also what their pain points are and things like that. which is going to segue me into my next piece of advice here, is to also start thinking about the how and the conception stage. And when I say how, I mean you want to think about how are people going to actually interact with your content. What do you want them to do with that? Because that, as you're starting to think this stuff through, you'll be able to understand that, oh, my audience may not like graphics, they need video. So then you understand that as you're starting to conceptualize this stuff and think about it and start to create this content in the next stage, then you kind of have a little starting point of where to start from. And then honestly, that's going to listen to me, it's going to make it so much easier if you just understand who you are talking to and how they're actually going to interact with your content and how they interact best. And then also, what Sharnie said this, and it just freed me. She said, in a separate conversation, y'all, don't copy somebody else's idea because yours.
Wait. What you doing that for? I'm confused. Confusion. You don't have to copy somebody else's content for it to be good. You do not have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes redundant. If you look down your timeline and you look at 3 of your favorite people and you find out they all making the same content, that should irritate you. Well, what's happening here?
Because I guarantee people are just swiping past it.
It's redundant. It becomes redundant. You do not have to steal somebody else's idea. First of all, y'all know I coach faith-based women, right? Faith-based business, Christian business. This is the field that I'm in. I just know who I'm called to, right? Which is another thing about your content. Kay can tell you, okay? So me and Kay actually been working together a little minute. And the thing, I'm telling you, everything about me on social media changed when I really dug into God, who am I called to? Not just who do I want to talk to. I work with big bucks people, but a lot of them, y'all, let me tell you, they not on social media. A lot of them big bucks people that they don't really care. They don't give that much effort. I've worked with them too. So if I'm trying to reach them, I'm not necessarily talking to them on Instagram. They're not on Instagram. That's the other part that we should have wrote that down, okay? About conception. Where is your audience at? Mm-hmm. Are they on TikTok? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? Y'all, are they on what is called trends, threads? I'm not up there. I don't know. LinkedIn. It's called X now. It's not Twitter no more. They on Snapchat. Who knows? Listen, where's your audience at? That goes back to everything I just said. Well, we just said. You have to understand where they are, who you're talking to, why you're talking to them, and then we go into what? Content creation. So we just talked about conception. Now we have creation. Okay, we have the whole, listen, I told y'all already, my mentor used to get on me because I just used to sit on Canva and try to do stuff, and I had no concept. But once I grasped the concept and I had an idea now, not even an idea, I have fire behind me for who I was called to, it made a difference when I got to creating content. And Kay can tell y'all that. Once I knew who it was, she had to tell me nothing. I'm going to talk to my people. Mm-hmm. Every day. I'm going to talk to my people. And my people are talking back to me. So now I can create attention-grabbing content for the right people. Tag in, Kay. You got it.
Yes. So when it comes to creation of the content, like we said, we'll touch a little bit on is understanding where your audience is. And then also sometimes they're going to be on a couple different platforms. And I'm going to just plug this in because we ain't put this in these notes. But you need to cater your content to each platform. My content on LinkedIn is not going to work for TikTok. My content for Instagram may not work for Facebook. But hey, some people try it and they're just doing themselves a disservice. So when you begin to cater content, I actually had to begin to cater content. Number one, let me just talk about this. I tried to cater it and then I said, it's still not working. Then I realized I was on the wrong platform altogether. So then I was putting my energy into creating content for platforms that my audience wasn't even on. When I got off of Instagram a lot more and went to LinkedIn, life changed. And we is reaping the benefits of that. And like she said, certain audiences aren't even on LinkedIn. We're getting frustrated because we want to stay on Instagram so bad because it's comfortable. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Or
And
popular.
okay, because when
Use
everyone
the
went to
word
TikTok,
popular.
everyone went to TikTok in the pandemic. And I said,
I
okay.
I got 3 TikToks and I don't even know my account no more.
But yeah, you have to really think about these platforms and what works well on those platforms, where your audience is pertaining to each of those different platforms, and then be okay with letting go of certain platforms because it's popular or comfortable for you. And then another thing is you don't want to overthink the content. People will sit for hours and hours and hours just typing away and creating stuff, but they don't understand that it can be so simple. Sometimes the simplest stuff. I used to do marketing for churches. My God. But they used to want all these elaborate things, and then we began to just slim it down real simple. Everything just kind of took off. And so you want to not overthink it. You don't want to do too much, and you also want to stay in your lane. Because it's popular with everybody else does not mean that it's going to work for you. You were called to lane 1. Everybody else might be in lane 2 and 3, but you're focused on lane 2 and 3. You have to focus on your lane because that's how you're going to get your audience. Your audience is your audience. At the end of those lanes, you're going to get who you are called to. So that's pretty much there. And then always, always, always just be authentic and be yourself. One thing you will never see me doing, or you won't see me now, is dancing on TikTok, dancing on my Instagram reels. So you have to be mindful of who you are as a person and stay true to that. Social media and content creation is such a what's popular and you have to just go with it. You really have to understand who you are and be okay with that. One thing about me, you're not going to see me do too many dances. I will not be dancing nowhere. But that's
I used to do it.
Used to do it.
I liked it at one point. Back
It's
in
a
the
little
day.
draining though.
The way these days is set up in my life, I don't have the time or the capacity to be dancing on nobody's reel. Period. Not every day, y'all. I was spending hours making reels of me dancing. First of all, the platforms in itself have changed. The algorithm, I hate this word, but the algorithm has changed. The way you get reach now has changed. So if you are always going for that, you always trying to stay up with what's happening, you will never be authentic. That was the biggest mistake I made, especially starting out, is I wanted to be myself, but I was trying to figure out how to put myself in the box that all the other content creators had created. That who made this rule? Who made this rule? We can give you tips, tricks, hacks, methods. We can give you stuff that works, but if it don't work for you, you have to almost like, I want to use the right word. You just have to make it your own so that you can be yourself. Because the other thing that also worked when I start showing up fully as myself, knowing who I was called to, they liked me. That's another part of your content creation. Even when you're trying to get them to buy into what you're selling, they want to know you. Mm-hmm. Because even though you're representing your business, there's a difference between you being the face of your business and it being like your business is doing all of the business itself. That's the difference. Like if you go to Target, you don't know who the face of Target is. It's just Target. And y'all know I'm going to use Target because I love Target. Dunkin'. If you go to Dunkin', you just know Dunkin'. You don't know who the face of that is. But if it's your business and you're the service provider and you're out here putting out content with your face on it, which is usually how you have to start anyway, when you're creating the content, it has to be authentic to who you are and what you're trying to give them, especially if you are a coach or a consultant or you have like a subscription community. They're going to be working with you. So they want to know you through the content. Okay. The other thing about content creation is having good call to actions. If you don't have nowhere to lead these people, they're not going anywhere. And I see the question in the chat. I'm going to put it on the screen to make sure we answer it. Yes, Antoinette. She said, I am my brand. Yes, a lot of brands are built from the personal side first, and then they take their face away from it because now their name is already known. So now they don't have to necessarily use their face. But I was talking about call to actions. You have to make sure you have something for them to do. Interaction. I saw this post the other day, which was good. Y'all, I still like to consume some content. But she basically was breaking down what could be wrong with your content based on call to actions. Like if you're always saying read the caption every single time you post content, they might be tired of reading your caption. You got to switch it up. Is it DM me this word? What are your call to actions? And then I'm going to get into the systems part of that in a second, but I'm going to slow down because I get excited about systems. Okay? So that's all of your creation part. So let's answer this question real quick before we move on to communicating the message. She said, I still struggle to figure out if my audience is truly on the platforms I'm on. What are some tips to know when you're definitely on the wrong platform?
Is that your pass to me?
Yes, I have an idea in my head, but I want to see what you're going to say first.
Yeah. One of the things that I always tell people is if you are putting in so much time and effort, I call it an investment. If you're investing into a platform and you're not getting return from that platform, so people are not engaging with you, your stuff is not being reshared on their pages, things like that, and they're not commenting, DMing on those platforms, you might be wasting your time a little bit, or you might need to, like you said, rethink what those call of actions are, the captions, and kind of think of the quality of the content. And that would just be my advice or my starting point for you, is to kind of look at it that way and kind of see if you're getting your return of investment of what you put in, time, effort, all that.
I think another part is when we talked about knowing your audience, is going back to that knowing your audience part and knowing those age ranges of people who are on a certain platform consistently. Like if you're trying to appeal to, I'll say like 15-year-olds to maybe like 20, your best bet is probably TikTok. You have to know, knowing your audience and knowing where they are can also start from where Kay said, and also from knowing their ages and what they like. That's why going into like knowing your audience is a really big thing, because if you know what they like, something else that me and my mentor talked about, I think like last week, was what is your audience doing this time of year? Kids right now are getting out of school. Not to say that, some people might appeal to kids. You never know. You might have a children's book, something of that nature, where they're like, mommy, look at this, buy me this. But then you have people, like as of recent, a lot of my influence is with older women now, right? So that means they have kids. Some of them got husbands. It's Christmas time. They on social media to get a break, not to think about business, because they're doing a lot right now, right? So knowing that part too. And then if they're older, they may be on Facebook. Testing it out. Another thing is not being afraid of trial and error. You're not going to know it all up front. Am I saying your name right? Sharidian? I want to say it right, but I want to make sure you're up here to hear that hear your question answered. Knowing what Kay said, and then also knowing based on their age range, your like profile of them, knowing them, what they do and where they are. She said close. Okay. Knowing where they are will help you to navigate if you're on the right platform for them. Okay. Does that make sense? If you have another piece of the question you want to ask or clarify, just let us know in the chat. But I would say those are the two biggest things. Those are the two biggest things. If you know them, their age range, what they do for a living, also will help you to know where they are. A lot of people between that like 25 to like 45, they may be on Instagram, but most of them are on Facebook all day. So even catering your content creation to Facebook. Mm-hmm. Oh, you said close for how your name is pronounced. Oh, because I said, oh God, I don't want to mess it up. But knowing that, like on my Facebook content is mostly words. Because Instagram, even if you think about how Instagram started, it started as a picture platform. So when you're scrolling, you're looking at pictures, reels, everything is visual. On Facebook, that's different. A lot of people are reading on Facebook. Okay, so that comes right into how you're communicating your message, y'all. Even in these captions, I'm gonna start with captions because if your caption, I work with you, y'all. Some of y'all may or may not know. To me, she's a marketing genius and a guru. Market like a mogul, Shamika Dean, Doctor Shamika Dean. I worked with her before, and baby, she got me. She did my whole Instagram over at one point because if your caption is not one, that first line, if it don't grab them and make sense to what they just saw in that picture, you can cancel Christmas. Your captions have to make sense to what you're conveying in your content. That is one thing I can say that has helped me a lot in this past year is my captions and knowing to the type of content that you're posting. Does it need to be long? Does it need to be short? And then you get into the messaging, which I feel like still goes into knowing your audience. But Kay, I'm passing the mic. Thank you.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. Messaging absolutely does stem from understanding who your audience is. And so you touched on it when you answered. I'm gonna try her name, Sheridan. But you tell me if I'm right. But when you understand your audience, and I have a whole concept for this to help people figure this out. When you understand your audience, like I said, you want to understand who they are and also who they are not. You want to understand what language they normally would talk to. For example, some women, just saying, are Starbucks girlies and some are Dunkin' girlies. I have just converted to being a Dunkin' girly because that butter pecan syrup got me in a chokehold. Yes. But it's one of those things where almost like my whole life took a shift, but I understood because I really wanted to become my ideal clientele. For example, I understand that my clients are not your Fortune 500 companies. I've worked with them, but I'm not there. I'm not there right now. I'm helping the people who are getting into a point of starting their business. They don't have the funds necessary, which sounds crazy for me to make money. They don't have the funds necessarily to put effort into their branding and marketing. I cater to those women. So they usually are living on somewhat of a budget. I can't talk in really big terms. I have to break it down in a certain way. So understanding what needs to be said to them so that they can digest it. Sometimes we just throw stuff out and they're not able to digest it. You want to make sure that whatever your messaging is, it is consistent and it is digestible to the audience that you want. And in that case, you want to make sure that you really spend some time in your messaging. And then you also want to learn how to speak to your audience. Even though there might be 10 other people next to you that do the exact same thing as you in the same industry, they might even be your friends. There is a specific audience that is set aside just for you. I know my market that most people do not touch are the people who don't have the funds to pay for stuff. So I am doing okay getting those people. I talk to them. I don't care. I do care, but I don't cater all of my messaging and my marketing to individuals who could just throw the money at me. And they usually are more stressful. Usually the people who got to hold on to their pennies a little bit. I know that they really are going to be knee deep into the work. They're going to be consistent. They're going to be on time, things like that. And so in that, you want to understand what that looks like to your audience and cater everything, like I said, to your specific audience. Don't worry about everybody else, but you got to kind of niche down a little bit in that area. That's why messaging is so difficult sometimes, because people just want to talk very broad. You want to kind of bring that down to your specific audience. And then also be consistent in your communication. The whole purpose of communicating on social media and being a brand and marketing a brand is to be consistent. If your brand is inconsistent, your messaging and your marketing will be inconsistent as well. So that's why I like to marry the both of like marketing and branding, because you kind of need both to talk about at the same time. But in order to be consistent in that, you want to kind of think about being rememberable. So for example, I don't have them on today, but I do a lot of video content on Instagram. So I have really big red glasses. Everybody loves them big red glasses for some reason, but that's something that is consistent for me and people remember me by. But in this case, even in my messaging and my tone of messaging, my verbiage, I still want to be consistent so that it is translating well for those individuals. And I'm getting directly to who I need to talk to very fast.
Y'all, this is fact. I want to note what Antoinette said. She said she was made to feel bad for those she chose to help. And this is why I speak to authenticity so much with showing up online in general. Because I think I said this last week. When we were in the pandemic, everybody was starting a business. Everybody was getting online. Everybody was doing everybody had a master class for stuff they hadn't mastered. Baby, I was confused. I said, what is going on here? Because everybody was doing it, but also that brought out the people who were trying to make cash fast. That's why last week I was talking about it not being a get rich quick scheme. Because in 2020, everybody was trying to make six figures. 2021, everybody was trying to make six figures. So people would make, I understand, Antoinette, if you are not speaking to people who can make you six figures in a day or two, then you're not talking to the right people. You need to reposition yourself in the market to make sure that you're reaching the people with deep pockets. My old coach, right? I love her, Natanya. The other day she said, my audience doesn't have old money. So I'm not going to have my price because they don't have old money. They need to know upfront what they're going to be paying. And I could relate to that because at one point it was the popular thing to hide your price on social media. It was popular not to say how much money it was. It was like, don't tell them, just have good messaging, show up consistently, and just make them go to your website and then let them get it. They're going to get it regardless. If they want to work with you, they're going to get it regardless. But that's the part of speaking their language. You have to know what kind of language they are speaking in everyday stuff. At one point, goes back to authenticity, y'all. We're going to be longer than 30 minutes in our free coaching today. Y'all, get it all. Soak it in here. Soak it in. But being authentic, using big words, like Kate said, using words that were like just like highlighted. It's a word of buzzwords, using buzzwords that other people were using, but my audience did not understand that. Now, let me just go ahead and put this truth out here. It was at one point, because I've had 2 pages. I had a couple pages, but 2 pages. On my other page, when I would start to use buzzwords or words that everybody else was using, I would get more engagement, but it still was not converting. It's just because the buzzword was the hype.
Mm-hmm.
But it still didn't make me convert to anything because my messaging it still had to speak to who I want to work with or who I know needs to work with me. So the people that I'm engaging, they say, oh my God, especially them dancing reels or the funny reels, I was getting a lot of engagement. I mean, like a whole lot of engagement. They won't pay no money for nothing because it was just a hype. But when it comes down to how you going to actually put this in your business, oh no, I'm good. Right? So showing up consistently, I was doing that, getting the engagement, but what made the difference was being authentic and having the right messaging because I did not always have the motivation. For all of you who came up here and was in the broadcast channel saying, it's me, I can't show up consistently, I can't come online consistently. Y'all know I like to tell the truth. It's in my makeup. My wiring is to tell the truth. You can show up consistently. You just got to choose it. You absolutely can be consistent. You just have to choose. What do I mean by choose? You have to find your flow of consistency. That was the biggest thing for me. At one point in my life where I could do 2 and 3 reels a day, whether it's scheduling them or not. But in my capacity right now, no ma'am, no ham, and no turkey. None of it. I can't. I just don't have it. But my consistency, the other thing about consistency, I can't talk. Consistency that I've noticed with when you choose your own consistency is your audience gravitates to your consistency. So there it's almost like a switch will flip. Like, oh my God, her content come out today. Oh, it's Monday at 12 o'clock. I know she's going live. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I know I'm gonna look forward to seeing something from Charlotte Strategist. You choose your consistency and you show up when you're supposed to show up, and you just let them grab it. You can't make your consistency plan based on somebody else. You got to do that based on your capacity. What you think, Kate?
Consistency based on your capacity is literally where I was about to say. So
I can
you
preach that. Don't worry about it. I'm putting it in the chat.
for me, and I'm gonna just use a personal self experience. I used to literally schedule 2 days a week, full days, 8-hour days, just to create content. I am missing out. Now, mind you, I coach a lot of the time, so I have to be able to be available, on a schedule. I'm wasting 2 8-hour days to do content. I don't want to say wasting, but it wasn't doing what I needed it to do. And I was like, this is dumb. But that I was doing that because that's what everyone said I should be doing. So then I got to a point when I said, this isn't working for me. I actually went back into a 9 to 5 for about 9 months. And so once I came back out of that 9 to 5 back into full-time entrepreneurship, I understood that I couldn't do that anymore. I said, I don't have the capacity nor the time nor the funds. I don't have that to do. So what I did, which actually is one of the things that people watch my social media for some reason, because they told me in person, it was kind of weird, is I do stories every single morning almost. If I miss one, it's just because I was having a busy day. But I usually do stories every single morning about what I'm doing for the day. I don't know why, but people love that. And it's consistent. It's something that I do. Again, I said I don't show up too often on Instagram, but I kind of did some work on TikTok for a while, just kind of see what that was like, trial and error. And I wasn't as consistent with it, but my content was consistent. And so I think a lot of the times is making sure that, like I said before, making sure that there's consistency in your content. The quality should be consistent somewhat. The value should be consistent somewhat. It may not always be the same thing, but it needs to be consistent and be true to who you are. And then also defining your own consistency. A lot of the time, I'm gonna tell y'all this. I actually did an experiment with this when I first kind of decided not to post all the time. Is I went from posting multiple times a week to barely posting once a month, like a full actual post. And I thought to myself, this kind of weird, but we're gonna try it. People were showing up more for that one post than they were the other times, and they were actually buying stuff. I was just like, so I've been lied to all this time. But people want you to create all this content, and people literally make money off of telling you what to do on social media based on what has worked for them. It ain't your business. Y'all don't have the same business. It might be this, it could be the same industry, but it's not going to be the same because the results aren't going to be the same because that works for them. It's not going to work for you. And this whole algorithm, I'm gonna tell y'all something I shouldn't tell y'all because I hope Instagram don't ban me from this, or Meta, whoever. Everyone talks about, oh, the algorithm, like a singular thing. Everyone actually has their own individual algorithm. You control it. You train your algorithm. I had to post some content for church once. It was an event, and I had to post the content. Y'all, my algorithm was messed up for weeks. I said, I'm seeing church stuff. And I don't mind seeing church stuff. Y'all, I love church. I was seeing so much church content and concerts and stuff. I was just like, this is not my business content. What is happening? And so the algorithm had to retrain it. That's why everyone has their own individual algorithm. Stuff that works for Sharnice may not work for me, and that's cool. Stuff that works for me may not work for Joy or may not work for Aisha. It's just okay. But you have to kind of figure out what works for you, and you own your own consistency. So if you want to post once a year, if it works for you, go for it. But just figure that out and stick to that consistency. Define your consistency and stick to it.
Y'all, I'm sitting over here trying to drop the gems in the chat for y'all. Because I don't know about y'all, but I think we just all need to take a deep breath after that. Define your consistency. Everybody has their own algorithm. Everybody. And I even know the difference because I'll see people I'm not even following yet, like especially on Instagram. If I've been on my page talking about business stuff, I'll start seeing other service providers down my timeline. But when I'm talking about ministry stuff, or I done posted something about I don't know, something that the Lord laid on my heart to post, which I do a lot more than on Facebook now than Instagram, trying to train my algorithm. Baby, they come out the woodworks. Bless God for you. But they're not finna about nothing. This is not the same. This is not the same. And for those of us who are here, right, who are in marketplace ministry, it can be a little like, oh God, I'm trying to figure out how to convey my message, but while not compromising the fact that you want me to minister through my message. But this still gotta make me some money. Woo, Jesus, mighty God of Zion. That's why I was so happy when the Lord told me I was called the woman of faith. At first, I was intimidated. But then I said, I can take this and roll with it. Huh, y'all? Because I know what women of faith need. Especially those who want to birth and build something. I just have this unique intellect from the Lord and insight that I can use to help women of faith build. That is completely different from helping Bill Gates. Bill Gates don't need what Aisha needs. Bill Gates don't need what Joy needs. Who else in here? Bill Gates don't need what Antoinette needs. Or how did you say her name? Sheridan.
There it is.
There we go. They don't need what you need. It is definitely a grace. So knowing, y'all, I be trying to calm down because then I get to like, ooh, I get elevated. But I'm coming back down. Okay. Understanding these concepts will help you now get to cash flow. So when you have your conception, right? You're creating your content. You're communicating the right message. I feel like, let me just stop on that real quick again, because something else that I learned through Market Like a Mogul was you can be communicating a message and it not be the right message. Because at one point, which went to that whole, I'm getting a lot of engagement, which she was so proud of, like, oh my God, you're getting a lot of engagement. This is good because some people don't get that. But you're getting engagement based on this message. And this is the message that's going to make you money over here. So even with converting to cash flow, you have to be communicating the right message. The message that I'm communicating when I'm doing inspirational content about life is different than the message that I'm communicating when it's like, you need to build your business X, Y, and Z way. One is more spiritual, one is more practical. Even though I bring them together, I have to be communicating the right message to the right people too. So the right message and then the right people, right? Speaking to, we talked about pain points here. We talk, I can even say their goals. So not just their pain, but how they plan to overcome that pain, the solution they're looking for, even just your something like your vision. Like if you cast a certain vision, people will grab onto that and don't even know what you're selling yet. They ain't gotta know. They just like whatever it is. I literally met with somebody maybe like 3 weeks ago. She said, all I did was heard your voice and I knew it was you. I didn't even know what I was going to talk about in this consultation. I just knew it was you. So if you have the right message going out, even some of you, wow, we're going here. Even some of you who are supposed to be using your voice in your content, but stuck trying to do it like everybody else is doing it. They need to hear your voice. They need to hear what you offer, the way that you offer it, and your unique abilities, your unique insights, so that you can directly make money from it. And don't be afraid, y'all. You have to leverage social media and use it for what you need it for. Like I'm still trying to get into LinkedIn because I know once I hit LinkedIn, baby, that's it. You might not see me on Instagram, no Facebook. No, you might see me on Facebook because the Lord speaks on Facebook, huh? But LinkedIn, I have to know what I'm trying to leverage and for what reason. I feel like I done seen like 3 questions here. So now the problem. Oh wait, Joy. So like know the problem and have a solution. Yes, Joy. Know the problem and be the solution, I would say. Not just have one, but to be it. That's basically what the woman was saying on the phone. I did not all the way know what I was going to get, but I knew you had it. She's saying you're the solution. She didn't know what the service was yet. She had no clue. The Over 40 Club needs you on Facebook. Jesus, Aisha. I be up there, but I'm just saying. So you have to know what you're conveying. Now I'm gonna tag K in so we don't keep y'all for over an hour. Thank y'all for staying though.
Yes. Let me see, where do I want to go? Because my brain just went a whole nother direction. I think, and this is honest to goodness truth. I used to post so much that I would get, like you said, the engagement, but the money was not, it wasn't translating. I want my engagement to equal coins, and it wasn't making a conversion. And so what did it for me was, now I did get off of Instagram and went over to LinkedIn. It's a great place. But one of the things that I think was very key to me is understanding not only this the power of the message, but also the delivery of the message. So even when you start to convert people from here's just content to digest, kind of warm the palate, let me now get you to a point where you can actually buy into a service. Even that conversation, I didn't want to lose my authenticity in that, because a lot of people they're not salesmen. A lot of people get weird and they don't know how to speak. They get tongue tied. They're just like, go buy this, and then they disappear. I know so many people who will announce something and just disappear because they get, I don't know if it's they get frustrated. They get, oh, I lost my word. English has left me today, y'all. They get frustrated, they get disappointed because they don't have the sales or the things that they want. But I also want you to understand that Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, X, Twitter, whatever it is, they do subscription service now, by the way. On X or Twitter. I said, oh, Jesus. But because they can make their money. So social media platforms are going to make their money. Okay. So all these subscriptions, all these, you could go buy your blue check on Instagram. All those things are to make them money. Those platforms do not want you to leave those platforms. So they will, like, if you post on there like, hey, I'm having a webinar, it's $20. Go to the link in my bio to buy this. It will literally be like, I'm going to suppress it because they want you to stay on there making money. So there are some workarounds to help with that, but also understanding, don't be too salesy and don't give up when you don't get the money right away. People start businesses and they think they're going to make 6 figures the first night. You're not. Now, if you do, you good. But honest to goodness, I've did this twice. And where's the 6 figures out overnight? But also understanding that you need to warm up your audience before you just sell to them. A lot of people just get on Instagram and say, I'm having this, go buy. I'm going to get on Facebook. I'm having this, go buy. Here's some soap I made. Not understanding, you need to warm these people up. So if I'm going to sell soap, for example, hey, I'm going to actually show the evidence of me using the soap. I might have a video of me washing my face with the soap. Little things like that to warm the palate of, oh, okay, I can kind of position myself and see myself in your shoes in that moment, so that then I have some type of buy-in relationship already before the ask even comes. Or I might ask you before you even offer it to me. Okay. And so with that, now the thing here though, and this is where Sharnice is going to jump in. Y'all got to have y'all systems in place to receive a sale.
Because help me understand. How you going to get the money if you have no way to make the money? Outside of it just being content on social media, you need a system that's going to take them from your social media to your sales systems so that you can actually get the money. I have literally, it was one person. Her graphics were beautiful. I mean, like, to the point, I didn't even know she had a graphics page. I saw her posted on her like personal page one day, and I went to go to her graphics page, but there was no link in her bio. There was no email. There was no call button. Even on her personal page, there was nothing there. So I'm like, well, how am I supposed to get a graphic from you? How are you making money? Are people just saying, hey, can you do X, Y, Z? That's not a system, baby. That's stupid. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I really get about systems because I don't understand how. If there's no way for them to go from, and this is how I teach it And Builders Academy, I'm going to be teaching it this way. I've taught it in other forms of coaching. Matter of fact, I feel like I just said that maybe it was in coaching or something, but I feel like I just told somebody this. But going from, I say content to click. That's how I explain the first basic level system when you from going from social media marketing, and now you're about to come into your methods. I remember that was in the teaching. In the teaching, when you go from content to click, what are they clicking? Where are they going? Are they going to a website? Are they going to a mini link? Where are they going? And from there, how are they going from click to contact? Once they go from contact, how are they going from contact to contract? I need to know. What's the process? What's the onboarding process like? What is your inquiry process like? Depending on what it is that you do, right? Now, some people, like right now, I'm doing online business management for a new online boutique, right? So the way she gets from content to a click is different than somebody that's coaching. But you still need, Joy said, she said system versus stupid. Yes, because you need a system to make the sale. I've seen my old coach, right? She can make money overnight while she sleeps because of systems. She has good content. Her conceptions are good. Her consistency is good. Her communication style, her messaging is good. So she can post something, 2 things in a day, go to sleep, and the next day wake up with money. Not just because the content is good, but because she had a system in place to take them all the way through to her getting her cash. That's another part of going from content to cash flow, is having the system in place to actually take them there. Does that make sense, y'all? She said, me too, cash out on flyer to register. Y'all, I hate it. It's been a couple of times I've been trying. The Holy Ghost, he be having my tongue. He teaches me how to bridle my mouth, because I be ready to DM people and say, where your system at? Especially people that I know. Now, the people that I know, they get it. Most of the time, before they do something, now they come and ask me, what I'm supposed to do with this? Because you're not finna, if I know you and I see you saying email such and such, why they got to email you? What they going to do after that? Email you? Where's the link? Let them do it. Let it be automated so you can make the money. Ooh, I'm going to be quiet. I get really excited about systems. Y'all have to have a system.
A full system.
A full one. She said, how do you warm your audience with your personal experience? Storytelling. Go ahead, Kate.
Yeah. Storytelling is probably the number one. It is the number one. Now, how you do that storytelling is up to you. Some people have long captions when they type their story out. Some people will get on there and give little short bursts of their story. Me personally, I'm not reading a full caption. I know myself. My audience loves to read captions. I hate writing them sometimes, but you know, it is what it is. But your personal story is going to, especially if you're doing something like a coach, you are a consultant, things where people are working directly with you. They're in your brain. They get to interact with you primarily within your business interaction. The key to that is you want to make sure that you tell your story so they know who they're working with. I know, and so Charnice is a coach in the sense of she services faith-based women. I also service faith-based women. People, and when you said that someone heard your voice and they just instantly knew, I literally am currently working with a lady who pays me the most insane amount of money, y'all. It's weird how much this woman is paying me. I'm like, is everything okay? Simply because we had a conversation about something completely different. And she said, I just need to work with you. And I said, okay, for what? And we had a conversation and she signed her contract the same day with a deposit that was, my God, it was expensive because I charged a deposit. But I understand that my story, because when we have some connectivity there from, we go to church, we are active in our church, we've done multiple different things in different gifted spaces, like the marketplace and ministry. What does that look like for both of us? And we can connect on that behalf. Had I not shown up as myself on a random Instagram post, this woman never would have found me and I would be missing out on that. So you literally have to understand your story can literally unlock doors that your silence would never be able to unlock. People get so scared to share their story. Share it. I'm a single mom. I got a 10-year-old daughter. She wants to paint a room for Christmas. My God. And that's that. And then I also have to understand, like, I still work a business. I still do other things. I'm contracted to a couple companies. You have to really understand and think about the power of your story and just share it. Some people hate it, but I promise you, like, just share your story, whether it's video, picture, anything like that, and it's going to change your life.
Yes, I fully agree with all of that. And another way I know for sure to warm your audience is to start plugging in what you're about to sell. So, for instance, right? I'm trying to use up. Well, no, I'm gonna just use what's going on right now. So, Builders Academy just opened, right? But we're not to the point yet of starting the academy. We're just on enrollment, right? Before the academy started, honestly, before it started the very first time, because it wasn't Build Hers Academy at first. It was Blazing Builders Academy, and I've done it twice. Another whole story. But being able to talk about the different things that I'm about to teach before I even say what I'm about to do. Like in my group, for instance, with them, I ain't trying to talk about my girls, but I love my girls. I can easily warm them up. Because all I got to do is jump on live real quick, start talking about something and say, y'all, all right, so now we about to do a fast because I just warmed them up for the last 45 minutes. With whatever the Lord gave me to say. And now I got your call to action. Go right here. We about to do this. So talking into, which is almost like a pitch. You're pitching them without like them even knowing you're pitching. We both, me and Kay, we know somebody that's famous for a pitch. And also doing like live events to like lead the people into where you want them to go. And it works. I've used it before. However, in this current capacity, these free coaching Fridays is going to be what we do. Amen. Praise God. Amen. Praise God. Okay. So even like you can warm them with a live event. You are able to do that. That's another way to start warming them. Giving out free lead magnets, Aisha. Giving out free stuff. Don't be afraid to give out free stuff. But when it's time to get that money, you better get it. And not be afraid of it. I feel like I said that that was the other thing I was going to say about being a woman of faith, working with women of faith, is that I always have to be mindful to tell the people that wealth is not wicked. Okay? It don't mean you're trying to come over here and be a millionaire tomorrow. But wealth is not wicked. So you can't approach your content that's supposed to be converted to cash for you. You can't approach that with timidity. It will come across. I'm telling you right now, it will come across because then you will not charge. You will not charge. You will not. I'm telling you right now. You will not charge what the service is worth, neither what you are worth, if every time you pop up, you think wealth is wicked. Last time I checked, my Bible told me the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the just. So if I'm just, that means your wealth is coming over here. It's transferring to my hand. Help me understand. Help me understand. It is not wicked. This goes back to last week when I said your motive for making it has to be pure. If your motive is pure and you're doing it for the right reason and you're doing it to the glory of God, even if it's not directly related to your ministry, but it is still considered ministry to somebody because it is helping them solve their problem. If you are helping somebody else make money when they're used to being poor, you're doing the work of the kingdom. Help, it has to register. The kingdom is not the church. Last time I checked, we are the ones. So how did I get over here? I don't know what I'm over here preaching now. But we are the ones who are supposed to be helping the Lord take over all of his mountains. All of these mountains of influence, education. We're talking about marketplace, media. All of these different places, you can still represent the kingdom and make your money. Y'all know Devon Franklin? He does ministry in the media. Help me understand why we think it's wicked. It can turn you wicked if you ain't careful. But if your motive is right, do not approach. We're talking about going from content to cash flow. So I got to make sure I hit. Y'all, we just dropped a lot of gems up here. This could have been easily been a paid masterclass. Okay. I'm just saying. So we're also going to be talking about this. If y'all enjoyed this, okay, we are also going to be talking through this, talking about this as I am teaching women of faith how to take their business idea from idea to implementation to income in Build Hers Academy. It is only for women of faith. I had a few men that was upset. It was like, well, I got to be for women. I want to do it. Okay, well, we can do you on the side. How about that? But specifically, I'm taking a group of women, literally every single week, I'm going from top to bottom in your business. That's marketing, branding, money, like actual finance, understanding that concept of your business, but also understanding the ministry side of it, understanding how your faith plays a part in it, understanding how your vision, casting vision, knowing your mission and your motive, your message, right? Knowing your methods, that's your systems, literally going from top to bottom. If you are interested, we still, y'all, Free Culture Friday is still going on to the end of January now. Was top. But I felt the Lord go ahead and push me and say, keep going. Go to start. It's at the bottom. It's scrolling across your screen. Startedstrategies.com/academy. The enrollment is going to stay open now to the end of January. I'm telling y'all, this is why I also got to follow the Lord. It's going to stay open longer because I know where my people are. I know what you all need, right? This is also a year, a whole different year. Right? So there may be an idea that you have or a vision that you have that you literally are like, I don't know what to do with this. Or I thought I knew what to do with it, but I need to reroute. You need to go right now to this website, read it over, and make sure that you enroll. Do you have anything else that you want to add, Kay, before we go?
I don't. Listen, you was over there getting stirred. I said, no, wait a second.
I don't know what
I said, we're trying to come down. But no, I just want to say, if you are on this live stream and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and I don't endorse everybody, to be very honest, y'all know me, but Sharnice is literally a genius when it comes to taking someone from the idea, all the other steps you need, because people just want to have an idea and then get the income. She's going to take you all the way through so you can get that. Okay. And so this is my plea and my endorsement. Y'all make sure y'all go and sign up. And if you don't sign up yourself, send somebody the link. Okay. Invite them to the Free Coaching Friday so they can also get this information and just get the experience. Okay. Just like you're sitting here right now getting all this stuff, tag somebody in it so they can get it too. Because I'm going to tag, I done already tagged some people, say, hey, go sign up for this now. Go. So y'all just do that. And yeah, I have nothing else. This is great.
This is great. Y'all, we gave y'all a lot of stuff in this hour. Hopefully it was digestible and it wasn't too much, but hopefully you also took notes so that when you get in the academy, you'll be able to sit with us and do it real time. Okay, so I love y'all a whole lot. I really do love y'all. Thank y'all for joining us today. I will be back next week. If you are not in the broadcast channel yet, go to Instagram. A lot of y'all today are on Facebook and YouTube. So go to Instagram, join the broadcast channel so that you can be in on the polls that I'm doing, the engagement that I'm doing in there. to get to know what you need more so that these free coaching Fridays can be speaking to where you are right now. I love y'all. Even if you already have a business and it's like, I'm not an ideal anymore, I am a strategist literally by nature. So you still go to charlottestrategist.com and look at the strategy sessions, look at the systems, services that you may need to make sure that you are implementing your idea the correct way to make your money. Okay. I love y'all. I will see y'all next week. Bye.